Woo.
You're being paid to babysit.
What's going on, guys? Jurassic here. Today we're back with Icarus. Alright, so today's goal is to start mission number 3. Last time it was the end of the tutorial area. We did the firing range, so now we're ready for a brand new session. Alright, so we have our mission list, and it should be number 3 that we're starting. We're going to be currently in Olympus. So let's see. So it looks like we have the... Oh, okay, so I understand how this works now. So they have a check mark on, like, the recommended one. But technically, like, for example, you could start this guy, I believe, since it says the claim prospect. It's just that this is going to be a 3-skull difficulty compared to the 1-skull. So we should start with this next operation, the live wire. Then from there, we'll have the kill list, spelunking, and homestead. The operator intends to rapidly expand exotic operations and has put out an urgent tender for survey data. Specifically around the new job sites, the exploration and map mission is crucial for development of the planet. Mission: take radar scans in 3 essential locations, ensuring accurate data is returned to the operator. Contractor will be provided with radar equipment and all other risk and resources responsible to the contractor. Expect elevated wildlife and weather threats. So we'll claim the prospect. This is where we can decide to come with. We bought a backpack, so I mean, we may as well bring the backpack with us. I believe this is going to be more of a main one. And then less rewards, minus 33% of total if we want to have insurance for the backpack. Now, when it comes to insurance, I believe it's going to be a flat rate fee, so it's always going to be 33. So since we're currently only bringing one thing in that costs 50, it doesn't really make sense to insure it, so we're going to go without insurance. Alright, let's go! Mission number 3 is to go! That's cool, we have like a little MP3 player over here. I don't think that I have sounds turned off, so I don't think there's supposed to be music. Interesting, alright. We landed right on the water.
So empty. The UDA wants exotics, and the Legos unit's under pressure to scale operations up. Which means they need terrain data, and a heap of it. Fast. So grab the radar from the supply crate. The unit wants scans from 3 locations on your map. You'll be heading into uncharted territory, but that's exactly why we need the data. Think you can handle it?
Alright, so obviously we need to make some sort of like bow and arrow or something.
Good luck.
Alright, so survival backpack, if we put it on in our inventory, does it automatically just work? Alright, so we'll start with the basics. We need to get enough stuff for a bow. We also need to collect the supply drops. That's going to be our radar. So it'll take a little bit to get fully caught up. I don't think that we actually... Is it blowing up? I was not expecting that. Alright, so we have 3 different scan sites. I don't think we actually need a base. I thought it was going to be like Mission Impossible, where, you know, you like collected the information, then everything was just like destroyed afterwards. So we'll grab enough stuff for a bow, get some arrows, possibly make some armor if we can get enough kills in, and then we'll head out to these 3 other areas. Alright, so today's goal is kind of to head towards the direction of the radar. I don't think that we need to split this one up into multiple days. We should be able to do it all in one day. We crafted about 26 arrows. We have a knife that we're able to skin animals. If we can get to the next level, we should be able to get bone armor, which then theoretically should be allowed to let us live much longer. We might want to grab some pebbles along the way, though. That way we can grab a pickaxe in case of like emergency situation, like ended up inside like the mountainside without having access to those kind of tools. Other than that, I think we're pretty much prepared for war. This one doesn't really seem like as much of a like actual survival mission. It's mostly just going to this area and knocking stuff out. So I don't think we'll run into too many issues. Now, they also do have a open world crafting brand of the game. You don't have to play the missions. Obviously, the crafting one, you're going to be able to stay there a little bit longer compared to these shorter missions. So I'm sure that's a totally different gameplay, but I figured the missions would be fun to do. Alright, so we got a radar site kind of close to base. That was in the other direction, though. So we'll get this one super far away. Rain! Incoming rainstorm! Now, this is where having the ability to make like a temporary shelter would probably be pretty handy. Unfortunately, unless we find a cave, we don't really have anything to make a shelter yet. Although if we gather some rocks and some wood real quick, we could probably build a 1x1 and be protected from the storm. It looks like currently on the chart, though, it's not raining yet, so I think we still have plenty of time. Alright, so once we open this up, so let's get us a pick, we'll get us a hatchet. Since we don't have to grind out the levels like last time, that'll speed up our progress a little bit. Alright, so the rain's already begun. Around here is oxite. Definitely want to be sure that we have a pick for oxite. As long as you carry about 20 in, if you split the stack to drink the 20 oxite, it'll basically fill up your oxygen. So you don't really have to worry about oxygen too much in this game, as long as you have a little bit on you. That should be enough, so let's get you up and running. I mean, theoretically, we just need a decent amount of wood, and then we should be able to get a 1x1. So we don't need to have, like, a huge, big building. But we are going to need, I think, at least 100. That we have, you know, walls all the way around and all the way up top. Alright, so we got 40 so far. Honestly, if we could actually get to, like, proper survival stage, getting a campfire up and running for food would be nice as well, since we're about halfway to the first destination. Alright, so let's pick a flat-ish area. And good news is, since we're coming back to this area, we can always build it twice. So we got that. So we want 3 walls. We don't have an actual door frame yet, since we haven't learned that part. Alright, so let's come over here. Play the foundation part. The real question is if this is actually going to count as a roof. So, I mean, theoretically, this should count as a shelter, so I don't know why it wouldn't. Unless you have to actually make something called a roof instead of just a floor. Alright, so once you fully encompass yourself in, you can actually weather out the storms. So an oxidizer is a slow, unpowered device that uses mechanical pressure to crush the oxide, then stores the resulting oxygen. Once the balloon begins to fill, consume the oxygen from it directly. That's actually pretty useful, so we'll probably need to grab that. Eventually, we probably want to get into bandages as well. We have cloth armor, or we can just skip all the way over to bone armor. So we need bones and leather, so that's going to require a lot more hunting. Alright, well anyways, we should be good to go. Now we just have to break the doorway. I'm going to next time just build a door. And see if maybe last time we just didn't snap it correctly, and that's why we're happy to tear down the wall. But either way, we have a temporary shelter placed down. If we happen to stumble across here in the next storm, we'll be protected. Currently we're about half on food, half on oxygen, and pretty low on water. Alright, so our water is full. We don't have the annoying guy telling us that our oxygen's getting low, so we'll split the stack. That'll at least hold us out for a little bit. We definitely need to get more oxide on our journey, but we're full on water, so the next issue is going to be food. Alright, so far we haven't really seen too much wildlife, a couple deers, and it seems like the horses. The horses are going to be the easiest thing to actually kill, since they're going to be a little bit more aggressive, sort of like a wolf. So I think we're going to have to take this one. For the bones and the hide. Plus, we gotta level up some too. Alright, so from here we should be able to eat the pumpkins. Let's just consume the whole stack. We got some meat spoiling. We can't really do too much with that. Well, berries. We may as well just consume all of this. That'll at least get our water and food up decently. Now we're ready to fight, assuming that's what we're about to do. We have 18 arrows, so it takes about 2 to 3 arrows per thing to kill. So maybe we should grab a few more arrows before we drop down this first beacon. Alright, so we got 29 arrows. We don't have any armor yet. I'm still trying to decide if we want to learn the cloth armor or if we should just save it for the bone armor. I feel like for these smaller missions, the cloth armor might make a little bit more sense since you're not having the time necessarily to run back and forth and get a full kit. Unless they expect you to run back and, do all that.
Get searching.
Portable to Godfrey. Alright, so F to interact.
There you go. Station's online.
Think we'll be okay. Just need to watch the area. Alright, so while we wait, we should have enough time. Craft out 10 more arrows. 38 arrows, that should be plenty. 22% of the way done. Yeah. Oh, is he dead? Haha! I say, we haven't even seen a boar yet. Alright, so we got another one coming up. Ooh. That's not good. He's angry.
You're being paid to babysit that radar. You'll need to get in range.
Mister, we almost died for you. Don't sit there and yell at us. Two of them. Woo.
You're being paid to babysit that radar. You'll need to get in range.
Alright, we'll get in range. I hope that was it. 78. Getting super bloody. Six. Come on. Yeah, give us the thing. Whew. We lived. How many people thought we were going to die? Alright, mister, we need your carcass. We need your bones. And hopefully this gets us armor. And theoretically, we should be able to get all of our arrows back, too. Can't believe we managed to kill the jaguar. I thought he was surely about to rip us apart. Alright, so knives broke. We need more stone. Two more. So, after some deliberation, crafting the things for bandages might actually be a decent idea. The hatchet's the way to go. That seems to be a lot more effective. Alright, so we'll do this. Unless it was just because it was a jaguar, it might have nothing at all to do with like what you're actually using as a tool. But near like an arc, for example, you actually have to use like the proper one to harvest things. Obviously, you have to use the knife to skin it. Alright, now if we try the pick, that's getting about 4. Alright, so both of them get about 4, so it doesn't really matter between the pick and the hatchet. Alright, so we seem to be okay so far. Now we are getting halfway hung. Oh, don't you do it! halfway hungry. Still seem to be okay. No need to freak out yet. Alright, so grab that. Looks like it's almost starting to get nighttime, too. Now, for the sake of what we're doing, we definitely want to get some sort of shelter going. That way we have stuff to survive the night. Looks like we're going to need some wood. So we get that going, we'll get a campfire up and running. We'll actually cook the meat. We'll get back to full food. Then the next day, we'll go down there and get some water. Hopefully we can figure out how to get the door placed. Like I said, I didn't see a doorway, so I assume that we just were doing it wrong last time. Hopefully. Alright, so we'll do the pillbox right here. Let's see here. Alright, so we got those two. So we want a door. Yes, that doesn't snap. So we're missing something when it comes to doorway. I don't know if it's like a pillar that we're supposed to be needing. So we can't do that one. And for like the fire pit, we need a lot more stone. Hello, Mr. Bunny. I thought you were about to be something to eat us again. Alright, well, let's grab the stone real quick, then we should be able to finish up that building at least. So I think we might have got super lucky. We didn't kill the bunny, but since the boar was right next to the base, I think we have just enough to build a bedroll if we went into sleep. And hopefully we'd be able to pass it to the daytime without having to wait. You have a level 28 wolf, so we gotta be kind of careful with that. Bad idea. Panicking. And it's broken. No. Are you sure you want to respawn? Your gear will be left here, and a map marker your gear can be retrieved. Sure. Respawn at random location. All we lost is... I guess we did have a bunch of bones. So I just needed a little bit more wood, and we would be able to get that door placed, and we would have been okay. Obviously, we had some slight complications, so next time, I guess focus on that before we try to get a fire. Which probably means we want to at least expand the base out some, that we have a fireplace on the inside. I don't know if this game takes into account like the realism, like Valheim, for example, where if you have like fire built inside a building, it'll like smoke you out. Or if this game's a little bit more arcadey, sort of like Ark, where you can sort of have a fireplace on the inside of your building. Alright, well, since that decided to end our mission, I'm going to get all rekitted out. In next episode, we prepare to take on the next two pylons. So it seems like it's going to take us a little bit to get everything through that. And plus, it's nighttime, so it's going to be super dark anyways for like the next hour or so. Yeah, if you guys remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I was so close that time.